Hi, we're here live in Nashville with the Shires. Can you give a quick introduction, perhaps, to someone who hasn't heard of, only heard of you for the first time? Who are the Shires and how did you meet?
So we're the Shires. I'm Ben Earl.
I'm Chrissy Rhodes.
And we met on Facebook in May 2013. And yeah, we just had this crazy idea and this ambition of being a band and making country music. And yeah,
very crazy idea, wasn't it?
It was really great. And 2 years later, here we are in Nashville. Having made our first album. It's gone top 10 in the UK. The first ever country act from the UK to do that. We recorded the album out here as well. Yeah, about to play the CMA Global stage. It's just crazy. It's just done a lot.
Okay, so having formed the duo, what was the plan from day one?
The plan for us, day one, we wanted to write all of our own songs. We wanted to bring out albums, and I say albums, lots of them, hopefully. You know, we wanted to tour. You know, just kind of take over the world, basically. I think was the biggest plan, wasn't it? But yeah, I mean, we've achieved so much already. We sat on a train together and we said, you know, we need to get our songs to like Bob Harris, you know, the top man of country music in the UK, and we need to get so many followers on our Twitter and stuff. So, you know, we feel like we've achieved quite a lot already in such a short amount of time already.
Yeah, and you mentioned Bob Harris. Now, obviously, Radio 2 were instrumental in helping the groundswell of country music in this country at the moment, and also I think that they endorsed you right from the outset. What do you feel was your big break?
Well, yeah, I mean, Radio 2 were the big break for us. They came on board with us really, really early, and they essentially were the reason we got a record deal. They went to Decca and said, you know, we will play this band if you sign them. We want to play them, but we want them to have all the album ready, the promotion ready, and you know, sign them basically. And I think that was probably, I mean, that was the biggest break at the start, because it's very hard to get your foot in the door with the labels and the type of act we are. We needed a record company behind us so we could make the album. We can't. It's very difficult to make a great country album in your bedroom. You need to have great players and have a live band and record it live with a great producer in a great studio. So I think that probably was the biggest thing. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Now you have achieved a lot in a relatively short period of time. You've been touring and promoting tirelessly. We see that from your social media feeds. We know because you've been touring as support for Little Big Town. You've co-headlining with Ward Thomas. You've done your own headlining tour. Big stages. You've done C2C, first year pop-up stage, C2C this year, satellite stage to big arenas, Proms in the Park, and last weekend the Opry.
I feel tired.
Yes.
I feel tired.
Yeah, just knackered us out.
So how's it been for you, both professionally and personally? The whole journey.
It's funny because when we first met, we signed our record deal barely knowing each other really. I mean, whenever we spent time together, we would write and we would perform, record the songs, or we would go out and gig. And we didn't actually, whenever we were together, it was like working the whole time, weren't it? And because we absolutely loved it, and we both had the same passion to do the same thing. And it weren't until we sat on a plane on our first trip to Nashville when we were writing out here, and we were like, so tell me about yourself. And we've really got to know one another on the road, and we have so many laughs, haven't we? I mean, the last tour was just so much fun, and I think we just know each other really, really well now, don't we? We look after each other really well.
I mean, it's just been an incredible journey, and what's great is that we get to share it with each other as well.
Yeah.
So, coming off stage, well, firstly, somewhere like Hyde Park, for example, the first time to 35,000 people, and come off stage, and only we know how it felt, and if you're there by yourself, you don't really get to share that with someone. You come off stage, if you were by yourself, you go to your manager, you say, oh, was that good, was it alright, was it fun? Whereas we just know. And played the Opry on Saturday, the Grand Ole Opry, which was, I mean, we went there a year ago with Sam Palladio and the Striking Matches, and we said to each other, one day we'll play this stage. And I mean, when I said that, I thought 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, whatever. And a year later to be playing it and, you know, coming off that stage, I mean, considering the amount we've been through, you know, personally by ourselves, you know, working away, you know, I was writing for so many years, and it was a real struggle. It was really frustrating and a real struggle, and Chrissy was doing her wedding stuff, which, you know, she loved, but it was full on. You're doing it every week and carrying a gear around, and it's full on, and, you know, suddenly being on that stage, it felt like this complete combination. There's just relief and this excitement and just adrenaline going, and the crowd loved us as well, which was so nice. Didn't know how they were going to take to us, and yeah, I mean, it's been nothing but good, and, you know,
people were shouting at us afterwards, like, "Oh, great!" We were like,
but sometimes, you know, we sit back and we go, "Oh, I'm so tired today," and it's like, yeah, we've got the best job in the world.
We absolutely love it.
Yeah, well, I can tell you, you know, having been in the crowd and listened to the reaction, you know, from the crowd, you know, it was hair on the back of your neck stuff, you know, it was really, really good. And, you know, and I think you nailed it. You know, I mean, Chrissy, you hit every high note. And I said to Ben after the gig that, you know, the sound system in the Opry just really, you sounded so good. And I think that was,
it was pretty nerve-wracking because we didn't get a sound check, and everybody was so chilled backstage. Nobody came to get us from our room to say, right, it's your turn to go on. Nobody explained, like, you need to be at side of stage, you know, 15 minutes early or something. And we were like, do we use our lead? And this was all as it was going live, you know, we had no idea. Everyone was just so chilled backstage, and we were like, okay, all right, you know, just roll with it, and yeah, it was great.
Okay, so you played 2 songs that night.
Yes.
That night. Nashville, Grey Skies, and Only Midnight.
Yeah.
What made you choose those 2 songs?
Well, we chose Nashville, Grey Skies because it just sums up, you know, everything that we've been trying to achieve, and feel like we've achieved. You know, our dream of building our own Nashville back home, you know, literally, but also spiritually, just having, you know, this idea that people will really listen to the music and appreciate country. You know, when we started out, you know, there wasn't that understanding even of what country was. And
they laughed at us on our, you know, that we'll say
it's way too cold for
cut off jeans, and, you know, G&Ts instead of moonshine, and, you know, it's kind of a kind of comedy thing, I guess.
It is, definitely. But I think also it just, you know, it's really British and it's really English and it's really honest. It's one of the most honest songs we've written, and it just, we had to play it. We had to play that song.
We explained afterwards that, you know, country music's not exactly big in England and in the UK, and they all laughed, you know, because they completely understood where we were coming from, I guess. But we said, you know, we're trying to do our best to kind of get it recognised over there. So we felt it was really important to sing that song, which then led into the second song. Why was that then? Why did we choose that?
There's 2 answers to that. Only chose Only Midnight because I didn't want to retune my guitar on stage live at the Opry. But also, it is one of the songs that is it's quite traditional country. It's quite American sounding, that song. And you know, aside from the tuning issue, I thought it would just be a really good song to do, and people loved it as well. And I think vocally, you know, the harmonies on it are great, and Chrissy sounds great on it. And yeah, there was no other choice.
Well, basically.
Well, yeah, I mean, they were both very well received. So when you were backstage, you know, around the halls, there's lots of photographs, quotes, memorabilia to remind you of the greats that have played at the Opry. But who, out of all those legendary performers, would you have most liked to share the bill with?
I mean, I know personally, just because of how much they got me into country, it would be Lady Antebellum. I mean, just that song, Need You Now, just, it couldn't have come at a better moment for me, or in some ways a worse moment. I mean, I was right at the point of giving up music, and I was so frustrated, and I heard that song, and it just, I know I wouldn't be doing any of this had I not heard that song.
And they really have paved a way for country music as well, you know, from the American side. You know, you can mention to many people in the UK if you heard Need You Now, and you sing it, you know, and they know the song. They might not know the name or whatever, but yeah, they've been a massive influence for us, haven't they?
Yeah, so I mean, the thing is, you know, I know people say the greats, you think of Dolly Parton and Loretta Lynn and Charlie Pride, and, you know, all those people who are incredible. But for me, you know, I only got into country 3 years ago, and you know, I just look at Lady Antebellum, and I'm thankful, like I said, but also I just think they're absolute geniuses and superstars, and it'd just be great to sing with them harmonically, and they're just amazing.
Yeah, they were.
And you just touched on there that, you know, people know their songs.
Yeah.
How does it feel for you as artists when you have a gig and the whole of the crowd are singing along to songs that you've crafted? How does that feel to it?
It's an amazing feeling. I mean, we just come off the back of our tour in the UK, and the reception that we had at every single venue was just incredible, wasn't it? You know, and it's funny now going into sessions now, writing songs. You know, you really live for those moments to sing some woes and some sing-along parts, so that everybody can join you, because you know you really do live for those moments when everyone can sing together. And even songs such as like Black and White, which is a slow ballad. You know, Glasgow knew every single word. Bristol knew every single word of that song. You know, which we just weren't expecting. It was just so lovely.
And I think that's sort of characterised by the UK country community, because it's not big over here. Yeah, when artists come across here, we know the words to all the songs because we don't hear it on the radio and we have to listen to the album. So when Brad Paisley comes over, Lay Down to come over, I mean, Charles fell over at the C2C warm-up party because they just released their album. It had been out 7 days and the crowd was singing along, and I think that typifies the UK country scene. Now my next question was going to be, tonight you're playing the CMA Festival on the Global Live stage, but due to weather, that's been cancelled for tonight. Yeah,
somehow I think we brought the rain storms over with us.
Yeah. So hopefully that will go ahead tomorrow afternoon. How excited are you to play what is the jewel in the country music calendar?
We were so excited for today. We had a rehearsal with the band yesterday, and we played the songs once through, and they just got them straight away. You know, we had the Nashville charts that we charted out back when we did the album, and you know, to play through once with this band, and it sounded amazing straight away. You know, we see them in the lobby here, and we were just really excited to get up on stage and perform to a crowd that we've never performed to before, and see what the reception was for us. But we'll do it tomorrow instead.
Great.
And
Now, obviously, you've played the Grand Ole Opry and CMA Festival. That will give you, or has given you, nationwide exposure across the US. Something you've already achieved in the UK. How would you measure success for you, both in the UK and in America? I'm assuming that you perhaps would measure that slightly differently for each market?
Yeah, I mean, back home in the UK, or home in the UK, I think it's confusing. It's a confusing time in general for music, because you'd always look at album sales before and single sales, but albums are selling a lot less than they used to. And I think the biggest thing for us in terms of feeling how well it's going is the gigs. You know, like Shepherd's Bush Empire that we're going to be playing. I'm sure that will be
the next step up from the last tour. It's like every single tour is just stepping up every single level, which is
it's when you see people at the gigs and how much it really means to them and how much they're singing along. And I don't know about you, but I'd much rather have 2,000 people at a show who really love every single word and we know they do, than playing, than being exposed to everyone on TV and people just sort of aware of you just because the money's pushed into you that you're out there. I mean, I think it's the gigs. I really think it is the gigs. Out here, I mean, we haven't released the album in the US yet, but I think just to be known generally by the country community,
to be accepted as a UK country act would be just the coolest.
Yeah, I mean, it's happened with the writing. We do loads of writing sessions out here, and people take us really seriously. The level of sessions, the quality of the writers we get in the room with, I mean, they're top writers. So that in itself is sort of validation in a nice way. So, but I mean, it'd be great to release it out here. That's our dream. There's always our dream to have it out here.
Well, it's the next logical step, isn't it? I mean, why wouldn't you release in the biggest country music market in the world? Now, to that end, the last 2 videos that you've shot, both been shot, Friday Night and State Lines, both shot in America. Despite being a great setting to shoot videos, was the intention also to appeal more to the American country music fans?
Yeah. I mean, simply though, they just look much better.
For
the music that we're doing.
Our director had worked a lot with just everyone who's country, so we're just kind of keeping it in the family a little bit. Lady A,
Tim McGraw, he's done. Chris Hickey's the director's name. He's done all these huge projects. But the thing is, we did a video back in the UK for another song, and it just didn't ever look. You know, something, I don't know what it is, but in America you've got all this space. Like in LA, it's just space. It's everything is bigger. Like
the whole of LA is just a movie set, anyway. Isn't it? Just everywhere you go is just a movie set.
And everything and even like, and the people they're not reserved like they are in the UK. Like we had a very similar scene in 2 videos. And we did one with UK people, and it was like, right, it's a party scene, guys. Just everyone be like, whoa, cheering, and everyone was very British about it. They're very sort of like. Did it in LA for Friday night.
You genuinely thought you was at a party, didn't you?
It was great.
Going crazy.
So it's just, it ends up just looking, it does look sort of better for the music we're doing.
Now, earlier you said, you know, you're writing over in Nashville. You've been over writing this week with Jeff Cohen. You know, you've done some work with Kip Moore. This is obviously going towards the next album of the many that you said you'd like to record.
Yes.
So, are you taking a different approach for the tracks for the next album?
We are just writing how whatever comes out at the moment. We've been, you know, living life on the road a long time, and just writing from anything, experience, and it's great to be writing with other writers as well to get some of their influences as well. And I think, you know, it comes to the stage when we have to demo everything, and you know, we'll sit down after a while and work out what songs are, you know, are going to make the next cut, kind of thing. But we haven't got a set idea. We're just going with how we feel, you know, at each session that we go to, really.
And how does writing with established writers in Music City differ from how you wrote Nashville Grey Skies?
I mean, that specifically is quite different. I mean, Nashville Grey Skies, I wrote on the sofa at home in my tiny flat, very quickly actually, in fairness, and with this dream of one day playing like a Glastonbury, and it'd be, you know, completely raining, and everyone, all these country boys, country girls out there in their Wellington boots and stuff. And that was one of those songs that just came to me. I was really inspired at the time to listen to loads of country, and the whole idea of what we are now doing, it was just an idea. It was, I hope one day we'll be out in Nashville recording the album. I hope one day we'll be writing with these people. So it was just all this just excitement. That song was all just excitement and me getting into country. But into the rest of the album, though, in terms of the way it was written compared to how we're writing now, it's the same. You know, you just go into a room of people. Once you're at a certain level of writers, it's just everyone is there to write a great song. That's all you want, is just to write a really great song, and that hasn't changed from
Everyone is different. You kind of write with. I remember writing with Kip, and he would get an idea going, and then he would just like waltz out into the garden, didn't he? We were writing at mine, and he would just waltz out into the garden, he'd go off in his own little zone, and then he'd had loads of this writing on a paper, and he'd come back in, right, this idea I've got, you know, and you know, it's really interesting to see how lots of other people work. Some people take the chords first, some take like a melody or an idea first. You know, it's everybody kind of writes in their own way, really, and it's just, you know, gelling with each other.
Now, for the next album, we've seen you do collaborations with Ward Thomas on tour and striker matches. They go down really well with the fans. Have you considered any collaborations for the album?
Yeah, not for the album. I mean, not yet for the album. I'd love to do an EP or an album which is just us collaborating with different artists.
Yeah, that'd be really
to come out around C2C. Heard it here first. That'd be my dream. You know, because we're good friends with like Justin and Sarah, the striking matches. You know,
Yeah.
we know Little Big Town. We, you know, met them, and it'd be great. I think it'd be awesome just to have an album that was just all these collaborations and stuff. But no, we haven't fully considered for the album yet. The album is so just in the early days of it's just a concept. It's not even a concept. It's
we're just making sure that we're, you know, it's not going to come to the time when we have to record it and we're like, we've got no songs, kind of thing. So we're already writing, ready to ahead of it.
Yeah, because I mean the last album was a long time coming, but
difficult second album, you know.
But also, I mean, the timing was absolutely spot on with the top 10. I mean, it you know, I can understand now why, as a fan.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't want to wait, but I can now actually see why.
Yeah.
You know,
because we were the same. We just
so
wanted it out. It was
frustrating,
sitting on our iTunes. We just wanted it to be out there. But
We were listening to it in our cars all the time, weren't we? Well, you're not in your car all the time.
But I mean, categorically, it wouldn't have gone top 10 had it not been released that week. You know, so it was in hindsight the best thing we could have done. Definitely.
Okay, so you set out to build your own Nashville in the UK, and there's a definite surge at the moment in country music. A lot of this is attributed to your success. How close do you think we are to achieving Nashville Nashville in the UK?
Nashville was there, if
Yeah.
I'm totally honest. You know, there's nowhere else in the world that is like Nashville. There's nowhere else that has a place where just songwriters come and write.
You
and
just
when they
write,
live.
you go and
Yeah.
perform in the evening what you've just written in the daytime.
Yeah, that's why it's so special in Nashville. You won't be able to replicate that anywhere. But in terms of like just being that spirit and that understanding of country. I mean, with the UK country scene, you know, we know, you know, I'd like to say pretty much everyone on it. I don't think there's anyone we don't know who's an artist or a blogger or you know, promoter, etc. And I don't know. I feel, you know, you've got people like Striker Matches coming over, and you know, they're playing Shepherd's Bush as well.
John and Jacob will come back over at some point. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
and it's just, you know, you've got the Country to Country Festival, which is 3 days next year. I mean, I don't know what more we can want. Dolly doing Glastonbury. What more can happen? I think.
Everyone seems to be doing their bit of sharing everything. You know, they're putting it up on Twitter, they're putting it on Facebook. They're buying the album for their friends and family. You know, to say come and listen. They're bringing people along that that might not listen to country, and then they get there and they're like, oh, I quite like this actually. You know, so everybody who's passionate about the music is doing their bit to help promote it and to get people listening to it much more. So I don't think we can ask for much more.
Okay, and one final question. What's next for the Shires?
A whole lot of festivals. We get to go and do festival season this year, which we're really excited about. We start when we get home, and more writing, demoing probably. And we've got the headlining tour in October, haven't we?
I think more immediately it's beers with John and Jacob tonight.
Yeah, we're going out on the
Beers and
town with the
shots.
boys later on. So yeah, we miss them from tour, so we're going to have a good night, a Motown night tonight, aren't we?
Yeah.
Something different. And then, yeah, fly back home, which we don't want to go back to.
No, but festivals are really exciting, mega exciting. So. But we just hope in a year, 2 years, 5 years, we'll still be here doing the same
Be
thing.
having a car.
Yeah, still chatting to you.
Excellent. Well, thanks for spending time chatting to us.
No worries.
Hopefully tomorrow
Works
the
out.
sun will come out and we can all enjoy you in the Nashville sun.